Hi, welcome to the podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start conversation on Unit 25, Critical Issue in Open and Distance Learning, and our topic is quality concerns. Today terms like quality assurance, quality control, total quality management, etc. earlier used in the field of industries are gaining popularity in the field of education. It has been realized that as with goods and other different services in the field of education too, quality is important and has to be maintained. Earlier providers of educational services often considered students to be their beneficiaries who were supposed to remain obliged to them for the services received. But today, with the rising cost of higher education and the growing importance of the need for professionalism in every field, it is being felt that students too, like consumers, have certain rights and expectations that have to be fulfilled to ensure the growth of the organization. In this regard, it has been pointed out by the state that the students are no longer in a subservient position, accepting poor services or care from the teachers and administrators. Thus, there is widespread concern regarding the quality of education provided by educational organizations. What does the term quality mean? Quality has been defined by Harvey and Green as being synonymous with several things such as being exceptional or by strikingly higher level of perfection, with consistency being a well designed process with zero defects, having fitness of purpose, indicating that the institution is capable of fulfilling the stated objectives, providing value for money that translates to accountability and satisfies the needs of the consumer, etc. From this definition, we do get an idea about the concept of quality, but at the same time, it has to be noted that in the field of education, unlike in industries, it is difficult to develop specific and measurable criteria for assessing quality. Since human beings and not goods and services are the focal element of educational institutions. Nevertheless, in the field of distance education, which adopts an industrialized approach with mass production of learning materials, transportation, need for timely delivery of the right type of material, criteria for assessing the quality of educational services can be developed. Quality is to be maintained in every aspect of the functioning of the institutions offering distance education, development of learning material, and as we have discussed earlier, their production, timely dispatch and delivery, student support services, evaluation, etc. are the major areas that are required to maintain quality. The concerns regarding quality are not merely to satisfy the users or the beneficiaries of the educational institutions, but also to continuously improve the functioning of the institution. In the industrial sector, quality is often maintained by checking the finished goods, but in the field of education, the entire process is important because there is no such well defined finished product. Therefore, quality assurance, which takes care of the entire process rather than quality control that is more concerned with the finished goods, is more important in the field of education. Quality assurance is important in the field of education, but it is all the more so in the field of distance education. Why is it so? In several countries, distance education is yet to fully establish its credentials as an educational system, which is at par with the conventional system. Still, there are questions as to its credibility, and it is often considered to be the second choice of learners. Therefore, any compromise regarding quality would aggravate such doubts. Therefore, practices related to quality assurance are important in distance education institutions. Moreover, there is another issue which happens to be related to the target group of distance education programs. The target group comprises learners from heterogeneous socio-academic backgrounds and could be highly dispersed not only in the country but also internationally. They are adults and many of them are in service. Therefore, they are mature enough to be aware of their rights and assert them. They may not hesitate to seek legal recourse if they feel that they have not got the full value for their money. Also, study materials of distance education programs reach far and wide and are subject to much greater and wider scrutiny by adult learners. Let us try to explain certain elements of the definition of quality that we have given earlier. When we say that the quality refers to the fulfillment of the intended purpose in the ODL system, it can be equated to the students graduating being in demands in the field of further education and jobs, and also the educational needs of those enrolling are fulfilled. Value for money can refer to the students being satisfied with the services provided to them, as well as the programs being quality ones and getting popular following the investment made in developing them. But can we emulate the standards maintained in the reputed institutions at the national or international level? Bo has rightly pointed out in this regard that the quality assessment system that has been adopted by one institution cannot be transported to another because of the varied socio-cultural and organizational differences. Again, standards are not fixed but dynamic, and this has to be taken into account. Then the maintaining consistency in the standards achieved is also a challenge in ODL and calls for dedicated efforts on a continuous basis. John Daniel has highlighted the main aspects within distance education that demand quality. Let us discuss some of these aspects. The first one is learning materials. In distance education, the learning material produced are very important as they substitute the teachers, and in places without the faculties of libraries and other such resources are the only printed materials available for studying. Therefore, the quality of the content in terms of its richness, adequateness, and the pedagogy is important. In this respect, Call has also specifically underlined that quality is to be maintained in the designing and development of the course material. Quality needs to be assured in every step in the academic input, in editing, formatting, proofreading, preparing camera ready copies, quality of paper, print, illustrations, timely dispatch of the material, adherence to schedules, handling assignment, counseling services, revising the courses, etc. The second point is student support services. It has been found that ODL system have greater number of dropouts than the conventional system. To check this, it is necessary to improve the quality of the student support services so that the morale of the distance learners is maintained. The next point is logistic. Quality of the logistic is required so as to ensure the proper delivery of the learning material to the widely dispersed student population. The next point is research base. A sound research base is to be maintained to use it for future developmental activities of the institution. For instance, a record of the feedback collected on the continuous basis helps during the revision of courses. With the growing demands for higher education, there has been mushrooming of institutions offering ODL, and many directorates with thousands enrolling in them have been opened in conventional educational institutions. However, it is alleged that in spite of the huge funds collected through them, they are accorded neither the status nor the recognition they deserve. Consequently, the quality of the learning material and the student support system both suffer. Hence, the dropout rate is also quite high. In some of these directorates, there have been efforts toward revamping the delivery system, student support services, and revising the course materials. Still, there is a concern that there are hardly any integrated efforts that are essential for total quality management. Nowadays, for maintaining quality in distance education, the Commonwealth of Learning, the University Grant Commission, and mainly the Distance Education Council are functioning actively. It is therefore important to ensure through quality assessment measures that the allegations that ODL caters to quantity at the cost of quality does not arise. Here we wind up this conversation, and thank you so much for choosing this podcast.